Hi, I'm Lorianne, and this is Knitting Monologues, where I come and chat with you a bit about all things knitting related, what I'm wearing, working on, anything that's new, any thoughts. I have a touch of crochet today as well, and a few acquisitions. So let's get started. It is the 13th of August. And I go back to work. I work in a school and I have the summer off. I go back in a week. And there has been a lot of knitting this summer, that's for sure. I am wearing a new finish. This is called the Top Dash Down tee. It's by Loopy Mango. And I bought this yellow yarn. I found it on sale. I happened to be at Yarn Farm Kingston, which is in Kingston, New York, with my husband, and this two skeins of the yellow were what they had, and they were on sale, and I thought, okay, I don't know what I'm going to make with it, but I'm going to grab them. And I looked around for patterns. It is a bulky weight cotton yarn. The yellow is called Canary, and this gray is called Stormy Night. So this is the yarn. It's actually, as I speak to you, on sale right now, directly from Loopy Mango, end of summer sale. And I used 2 balls of the yellow and 4 of the gray. Now I lengthened the body, and I think I lengthened the sleeves a little bit. You could certainly do it in one color. I actually have plans to make another in green. So once I had purchased the yellow and couldn't figure out what I was going to do, or once I decided it would be the sweater, I needed more yarn. So I found the gray online from Sheep Thrills, which is a store in, I think, Florida. They also have this green, so here's an acquisition. It comes in a ball, but I have knit this once into a project that I wasn't happy with, so I've decided I'm actually going to knit a second one of these all in this green. So I have 4 balls of this, and I have 3 more coming. So it comes in a ball. It's a super bulky yarn. I think this is 100 grams. It's only 48 yards. So you need those large needles. The design calls for using 17s and 19s. When I do the green, I'm going to size down and use 15s and 17s, I think, or maybe some combination. I think it will be, you can knit this yarn at that gauge as well, and I think, what changes? The stitch gauge changes, but not the row gauge. I don't know, on their site it tells you what. And so it's all cotton, 100% cotton. It's very soft and silky. It's kind of that, I don't know if it's Pima, it doesn't say that it's Pima, but it's not a rough cotton. It's very, very soft. So I knit it, like I said, a little bit longer than the pattern called for, and I haven't worn it yet. I just finished it last week. So, but it's super quick knit. I mean, I knit this in a day or so, maybe 2. I actually started it, then had to wait. Actually, so the project probably took longer. I started it, had to wait for the gray to come in, and then I started the green actually, and then realized I wasn't going to have enough and didn't want to pursue the tank top pattern I'd chosen, so switched over to the gray and whipped it out. So there we go. It's a great pattern. It's a Loopy Mango pattern, as far as my thoughts on sweaters, this is just, you know, a oversized and large. I don't always love knitting in super bulky yarn, but I thought this was kind of fun. I was late to the game on my summer knits, and this just came together quickly. I sort of stumbled into it. It is, you do the collar, and then it's raglan design here with increases, raglan increases. And I don't know, we'll see what how the weather holds out. The 3 other balls of the emerald color are in shipping now, I think. I don't know when they're gonna get to me. So I might make it this summer. I might just hold on to it till next summer. But this does not, I don't think it has like short rows in the back or anything. It's just so big and bulky. There's not a lot really to it to say. I'm trying to remember if it has a schematic. There's not a lot of difficult techniques or anything. It is a very, very basic design. So easily modify the length. Okay. Next up, I have this gorgeous, gorgeous yarn that I purchased from the Rosefield. They are a farm in Pennsylvania. And I purchased this one skein of this yarn, and I don't think I have the ball band with me. I knit a different shawl with it initially, and I just felt there was too much going on. This yarn is it's a splurge purchase. I think it was $57 for one 100-gram ball. So I wanted just what I thought would be a perfect pattern, a simple cable design, but with enough simplicity to it. I actually have, I think, about 20 grams left of the ball. It is a blend of merino, silk, and Angora bunny. And I don't think I have felt anything this soft at all. I felt like it lost maybe a little fluff when I blocked it, but you know, you can wear it this way, or you can wrap it around your back also. I think it's nice the way these cables show up. So the designer on this, it's Solmut, S-O-L-M-U-T, is, let's see, Heli Hottinen-Pukko. It's a new to me designer. And I found that I'm not sure, I think you did you did the I-cord edging all around and you bound off the top. So it's also a bottom up. So you start with a triangle and then you keep getting wider design. And I'm really happy with this pattern and yarn choice. I originally had knit probably 85% of the Batik shawl, which is a design by Kitman Figueroa, and I just felt like it was too dense. It's one of the most spectacular shawls with lace and cables, just beautifully designed. I already have one in a different yarn, and I just felt I was gonna need another ball, and I frogged the whole thing, and I'm very happy with this alternate. Okay, I also had the chance to test knit a design for Karysha, who designs under the name Audacious You, and I think she's from the UK. She on Instagram had a call for a test knit. I've never knit her patterns, and it was for this hat called Gaulus, the Gaulus Hat, and it has, well, it looks like, right now it looks to me like it's on me, it looks like it's a cowboy hat, just based on how the wire, so it has a wire in the brim, and well, we'll leave it at that. And that was a new technique for me. It's a cotton hat. I tested the adult version. I also tested the baby version. You do not need to knit the wire, but I thought it would be kind of fun to learn something new. And it has this beautiful Latvian braid. It's cotton. It was a very quick knit. The hardest, most finicky part, and you start from the cast on, was I did cast on with the wire inside, and then I needed, oh there, maybe we just spin it a little bit. And then you knit up from there. You could do this for the baby one, which I no longer have because it was a gift. It was all white. I even did the braid in white. You add a second color here for the white. So it's done. It was fun. I don't do a ton of test knitting. I find that I like to make a lot of modifications to my projects, and so sometimes that is not suitable when you're testing a pattern. Not all designers like that. They kind of want to make sure that the pattern is being verified. Some do because they like for their testers to show variations and some, like, what's possible to prospective knitters as well of that pattern. Okay, that is all of my knitting. I have some new crochet. So I showed this on my last episode as well. I have 3 new chickens. These are gifts. I gave away the first two of the first batch already. These are the Granny Square chicken. It's a pattern by Sweet Sofites, and it's a free pattern. These ones have a little tail feather. I added the tail feather to these chickens. Here, so cute. I'm obsessed. I just love these. And I'm using scrap yarn in all of these. I am using scrap fingering. I'm using a size C hook on all of it. And these are safety eyes. I just buy them at my craft store. And I have saved my leftover yarn, either like the strings that your skeins are wound with that hold them, that tie them when you hold them together, when you first unwind the skein, or the some leftover yarn sometimes from a project, or the ends that I've clipped off, and I'm using that for the stuffing. And these ones, this batch came out a little bit larger. I don't know if I stuffed them more, but they're just so much fun. And these are gifts for my local knitting friends. And one of them happens to be leaving the area soon. So I decided I would just get them all out, and they were going to be holiday gifts, and their holiday gifts are just coming early this year. Isn't that fun? Oh, back to this hat. You can use any DK weight cotton yarn. So for this version, which you can see I have ends to do, I used a discontinued yarn that a friend of mine was getting rid of. It's the Nashua Creative Focus Cotton. I used for the baby version Barocco Pima 100, which is a current yarn. So lots of the testers, many testers did more than one size or version. So lots of good ideas on the project pages. Okay, those are my finishes, and there will be more chicken. I'm not done. I won't do some for a little bit, but there are a couple of other gifts that I want to make, and I think I want to make one for myself. I'm spending a long time working on the Battenberg blanket since I'm on crochet, which is a blanket of different crochet squares in single colors that then have another color that ties them all together, one color. So I have been working my way through navy, plums, neutrals in my mini skein stash, and so I just brought one to show you. I also dug up a project that I started quite a while ago. I pulled it back out. For some reason, I've been very precious with this yarn, which is Clinton Hill Cashmere Bespoke DK. This is the Eschers Dream Scarf, and I love how it's turning out. I love how the graphic nature of it, and I had an error in it somewhere. It's a mosaic knit. The pattern is by Sweaterfreak, and this is the right side. It's the wrong side. I had carried my yarn on the right side instead of the wrong side. So I went back and took it out, and I think it's probably this way actually, because this is the straight part. Maybe? Yeah. And backed it out and got caught back up, and I'm now a bit beyond where I last was. So this is just delicious. It's my first time using Clinton Hill Cashmere for a project, and I'm using like the light ballet pink and the olive together. So that has gotten some attention. The last work in progress is my New York Sheep and Wool, my Rhinebeck project, and it is a vest. I don't have that much of the color work done. I guess that's about all you can see. It is a bottom-up color work, all over color work vest, designed in DK weight yarn, but kind of a light DK based on this put-up, and it is designed by MaryJane Mucklestone. And I am using all Renninger Wool Co. yarns in every color from this year, a couple of older colors as well. Every sheep in the flock's fleece is somewhere in this vest, or will be. I have 9 different colors to use, and that I've either collected or was able to buy, especially from Jenny, who is the farmer behind Renninger Wool Co. So that's really just the first motif. This is a steeked pattern, so it has a V-neck collar. There are steeks for the collar, there are steeks for the armholes, and my gauge is quite a bit larger, which was also how I realized that that yarn it's designed in might be kind of a lighter DK. So I took my gauge and decided to size down, knit a few sizes down to get the size that I needed. So this is just delicious yarn to work with. I have used Jenny's yarn in a different vest that I knit last year. So I'm on my next 2 colors, and I've sort of plotted it all out, and hopefully it works. Hopefully I have the yardage for all of the motifs as I planned it. If I need to kind of swap out colors here and there, I can do that. I should have plenty of yarn to make the vest. So those are my works in progress. As far as acquisitions go, okay, I had a chance, so in addition to the big cotton, the Loopy Mango Big Cotton, I had a chance to meet up with some knitting friends in New York City, and also my local friends and I went to Brooklyn to visit a few yarn shops there. Somehow I walked away from that trip completely empty-handed. I did not buy anything. I don't know about you, but I really appreciate being greeted when I walk into a retail store. Now, if it's crazy busy and there's nobody around, available, that's a different situation. But if people are just kind of, hanging out, I don't know, focused on the computer, don't say anything, busy, whatever, stalking, just not acknowledging the customer, it really, I don't know, it just sort of gives me a very not friendly vibe. And especially if people are walking in hand knits, like they're probably knitters. And this has happened to me in a couple of stores, not even on this trip, but people in the stores were helpful, but they didn't really, I just didn't feel warmly greeted. We'll leave it at that. So my local friends and I went in and met another friend for the yarn call, and like I said, empty-handed. 2 days later, I went into New York City to the Cloisters, which is part of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and has mostly, I think it's medieval, like 1300s, 1400s collection of art, and parts of the museum were parts of churches that were brought over from Europe and combined into this absolutely beautiful, the building itself is a work of art. And I met up with my friend Shannon, who has the Whiskey and Wool podcast, and my friend Beth, who has a channel under her name, Beth Macdonald Stone. I think it's called Knitting from the Rock. So we have met, this is the second summer we've met up and done a museum together. This is a different museum, same friends. And last year Shannon brought Beth and I some of her hand spun. This year I brought chickens for each of them, and they showed them on their recent episodes. So if you are not watching, they'll be linked here, and you can check them out. And Beth brought Shannon and I these very cool key fobs with color wheels on them. So we can have these on hand. I love this. I can attach it to a project bag. I think it's super, super cool. Funny enough, I have noticed a little increase in subscriber volume. So if you are here because one of them brought you here, thank you. If you're here and you've been here, thank you. If you're just checking things out and you're not yet subscribed, I hope this has been an interesting episode for you, and that you consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. It helps tell YouTube to show my content to other people who have similar interests that you and I do. Let's see, I also often talk a bit about books. So I finished the books I talked about in episode 31. This is episode 32. I started the Lost Love Letters of Martha's Vineyard. I think that's what it's called. I have to take a peek, and it's on my phone. So let me have a little look here, because I don't remember the author's name either. And the Lost Letters from Martha's Vineyard, a novel, and the writer is Michael Callahan. I have a lot left to go, but Martha's Vineyard is a very special place to me. I spent 10 days there by myself in June, and I was back there last week for 4 nights with my husband and my daughter. My son couldn't go, and my mom was there. It's her house. She lives there in like spring, summer, usually early fall. And we've been going there for 20 years, sometimes a couple of times a season, and just love it. It's a very special place for my family. So I thought a friend recommended this book. She had just finished it and found it very moving. And if you've read it, I'd love to know what you thought as well. I think, I was gonna say that's a wrap. Not quite. So I have one more acquisition. So Mitchell Wool Co. is a farm, a sheep and livestock, cow I think they have, farm, mostly sheep. I think they have other things too. It's a family farm in Michigan, and I found them at when they first came to India and Tangled, which was 2 or 3 Rhinebeck's New York Sheep and Wools ago, and fell in love with their product and their messaging and what they do. And they put up a post that they had a batch of yarn that did not meet their standards, but was very usable, very good still, and that they were going to give it away. Give it away. I didn't know what, I don't know anything about it. I don't know the fiber composition, it's wool, but I don't know what breed composition these are. And you just had to pay for shipping, $15 or $10. It depended on the size that you purchased. Let me tell you, I received a box that was bursting at the seams. And I work, as I mentioned at the start, I work in high school in my local town, and the students have a knit and crochet club. And they do use quite a lot of they don't use a lot of pure wool. They use a lot of big box store wool. They're high school students. So they teach each other how, mostly they've been crocheting, but they teach each other knit or crochet, and the teacher helps them as well. I tend to donate things to them. What they also do though is they make a lot of keychains or little toy objects, little plushies, and then they'll sell them in the school, and they'll donate all of the money they raise to various charities. And that was a condition for which Mitchell was giving this wool away. And so I initially saw their Instagram post and said, I would love for the kids to be able to try real wool. And then the way they ended up making it available was through an item on their website. It might still be there. I believe it's under charity. So I didn't know what I was getting. I'd say this is probably like Sport DK, probably their DK weight. I don't think it's fingering yarn. And I have a few skeins that are dyed this gold, and the note says that it has not been rinsed. So, and then I have probably 10 to 12 of this natural color. So when school starts, I'm going to bring this to the teacher who is their advisor, and I'm just going to hope that if they use it, I'd love to see what they turn it into. So, but what an amazing opportunity for these kids to really experience natural fibers. So thank you to Mitchell Wool Co. Literally, it doesn't even fit all back in the box. They shipped it to me in. So that's exciting. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, which this yellow and these two yellows are really not working, is I've wanted to use these together, and all of my friends keep telling me not to. I'm not going to be behind it. There we go. In a sweater. They keep telling me to go with these two or these two. And something makes me think that these two colors are not even available anymore. This one is, these are Fiber MacGyver Surrey Silk DK. I think it's 246 yards per 100 grams. I've already got a whole vest I knit in this last January. But I'd really, I don't know. Then I'm getting a phone call.